Good evening, ladies and gents. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Michael, your host. Today, at the request of a subscriber, I will finally be covering co-parenting. Some of you may be asking, well, what do you know about it? Excuse me. Well, I do know about it because I co-parent with my ex-wife. We have two beautiful children together, and we co-parent. Now, co-parenting, is it easy? No, it's not. Co-parenting is actually quite difficult because both parents have to be on the same page for the most important thing, the best interest of the children. So you have to put aside any bad feelings, any discontent, or any problems you have with either of the parent. You know, the mother has to do that with the father, and the father has to do that with the mother. Okay, you cannot let your personal issues interfere with what is best for the child. That is a really bad thing because it can have negative effects that you didn't think of. Okay, because eventually what's going to happen is the child is going to grow to resent one or both parents. Okay? If you try to alienate the child from the father, then the child can grow up and resent the mother and be like, you know, you kept me away from my father. You told me all this bad stuff that, you know, that wasn't true, and I hated him my whole life, and come to find out it was all a lie. And on the flip side, if you're a father, you cannot alienate your children against the mother. Studies have shown that the mother is a vital component in the development of a child. So don't do that. Whatever problems you have between you and your spouse, ex-spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, baby daddy, baby mama, whatever you have against them, don't take it out on the child. Okay? Now, with me and my ex-wife, she has custody of the children. I pay child support. I provide insurance just like I'm supposed to do. Okay? And where in the agreement I have to give her 2 weeks notice when I want to come down and see my kids because of my job, because I am a truck driver and I am all over the country. She is very understanding. She understands my situation, and she tells, you know, I can let her know, hey, like a week in advance or a few days, hey, I'm going to be back home, you know, can I come down and see the kids? And she's like, yeah, sure, you know, just let me make sure I have nothing planned. So you have to, even though you aren't together, you know, and I'm speaking about this in a divorce situation, okay? Even though you are not together anymore, you are still a team concerning that child or children, okay? My ex-wife lets me know every little detail that goes on with my children. She lets me know how their school's going, doctor's appointments, eye appointments, dental appointments, everything, because we are their parents, and we recognize that even though we are not together anymore, we have to keep the best interest of our children as the main point up here, because, you know, she loves her children and I love my children. We both love our children. You know, we both want what's best for them. So the best way to do that is, you don't necessarily have to be friends, but you have to be friendly. All right, remember that. You have to be friendly. Okay, because like I said, if you're telling the child, a bunch of garbage about one parent, then they might resent you later on. All right, and this doesn't end just because the child turns 18. Okay, this could go on forever. It could be repressed, and they could be like, one day some event happens and it triggers a memory, and they're like, wait a minute, what the hell is going? Why, and they could go to the parent and say, why did you do that? Why did you do that to me? Why did you keep me from my mother, or why did you keep me from my father, when all I wanted to do was spend time with them? It's so important to have both parents in the life of a child, even if you are not together. Okay? Now, granted, divorces can get ugly. There's custody, there's child support, possibly alimony. But one thing you cannot do is you cannot keep a child from their mother or their father. It's cruel, okay? I mean, I know that my ex-wife would never keep my children from me. Just like if I had custody, I would never keep them from her, okay? Children are very impressionable, and it's almost like monkey see, monkey do, okay? If children see mommy and daddy fighting and arguing, then that's how they're going to grow up and think of relationships, and they're going to think that's how it's supposed to be. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. That's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be parents working together for the benefit of the child or the children, okay? So men, if you have custody of your kids, don't keep them from the mother. And if you're a mother and you have custody of the kids, don't keep them from their fathers. Both parents are vital for healthy development of a child's psyche. Okay? Me, thankfully, I grew up with both my parents. I had both of my parents until they passed away. And while it was hard, it was very good, because I grew up seeing what a relationship should be, and obviously I screwed that up a little bit if I'm divorced, but your kids are going to pick up on the smallest things. And parents, you know this, okay? If you say a cuss word, around a child that's a certain age where they're just beginning to talk or they're starting to talk, they're going to say that cuss word because you're saying it, okay? If you are engaging in erratic, irrational, or dangerous behavior, they're going to emulate that, because children are impressionable, okay? And like I said, just because a child turns 18 doesn't mean squat, okay? I followed my father's lead all the way up until he died, okay? And I followed my mother's lead all the way up until she passed. So children are impressionable most of their entire lives. I'd probably say until they're in their mid to late 20s. Okay, they look to the parent to guide them in life. And if you try to, make their decisions for them and force things upon them, they're going to be resentful of that. You may not see it, but they are resentful. And then the other parent has to step in and repair that damage. Well, why are you butting heads working against each other when you should be working together to make one cohesive life for the child? I mean, in my opinion, any parent that acts like this isn't a good parent, because they're not keeping what's best for the kid up here. They're thinking about hurting the other person, okay? Whether it's not allowing, like I said, I'm using a divorce situation. All right, so let's say one parent has said, well, you can't see the kid. I don't want you around here. You can't see him. Or no, my phone's almost about to die. You can't talk to him that long. Or just not talking to him, Another thing, do not block each other on social media. Do not block each other's phone numbers out of your phone, because that's just more hurtful, because you're not allowing the child to speak to their loved one. You know, it's almost like, you know, parents will use their children as a tool to hurt the other parent, and that's just not cool. You know, I think parents that do that really should not have custody of a child. But anyway, you know, that's basically all I have for this video. It is going to be a short one, but I want to thank everybody for watching me through this far, and I would like to thank everybody that is watching and that has subscribed. I never thought I would get this many subscribers. I'm only at 28, but I would like to get it up a little bit higher. You know, my goal actually is 35. So if we could do that, that'd be fantastic. So if you've tuned in this far, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, if it was informative. Share it on social media, on Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Email it to people, text the link to people, doesn't matter. Just, I want to get this information out because it is kind of important. Now, before I end the video, I am not a therapist. I am not a marriage counselor. I am not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist, or anything like that. I'm just a guy that's been in the situation and is in the situation. Okay? So, I just hope that you enjoyed this video and that you learned something from it. Okay? Now be sure to tap the subscribe button and hit the bell icon for all notifications so you get notified when I upload a new video. Leave your comments and questions down below. I read them all and I try to respond to all of them. And also, while you're down there in the comment section, why don't you go ahead and drop a hint what you would like me to cover in a future video, and I'll be more than happy to get to it. But anyway, I'm Michael, your host. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, be good to each other, and I'll see y'all in the next video.